Here we are live on Facebook, like we promised. Hi, Kebie.
Hi, Rachel.
Thanks for spending some time with me tonight.
Yes, thank you for having me. It's going to be great.
I'm so excited to interview you. I've been wanting to for a while, and I just can't wait for the world to know you more and to appreciate you like I do. Maybe not in the same capacity, but they will someday.
Aww.
So first and foremost, let me introduce you, and then I'd like to say how we got connected, and we have a lot to talk about. So I would like to kind of move through this and speed through this. But for those of you, if you didn't see my post and you're just tuning into this, first, tell us where you're calling in from. We'd love to know what part of the world you're calling in from. If you're watching this live, let us know. We appreciate you being live and hanging in with us. This is going to be a very valuable live for you to watch if you are in some sort of an online business, if you have ever or are in network marketing, if you are using social media in your business, if you have ever been frustrated in any of those areas, if you are a coach, or you want to be a coach. If you have, if you want to learn how to get more leads online, there's just so much that we're going to cover tonight just through my interview with Kebie, and you're going to learn so much. So hang in there. If you can watch to the end tonight, great. If you can't, that's totally cool. This will be living on our pages, so you can always tap into the replay. But let's get right to it. So Kebie, you are a published author and you help others publish what they want to. So you know how to bring someone through the process of writing and publishing their own books, which is awesome. You are a network marketing superstar. You are a six-figure earner. You've been in the industry for over 8 years, 9 years. You are a coach. You're not just a coach. You are a coach of coaches. And I know that one of your passions and your vision is to be like John Maxwell, where you have such a huge organization of coaches that you have taken under your wing, that you have coached to learn how to coach in a way that serves, which I love. I love that so much. It's not about making money to you as it is to really serve others. And I just love that. You work a full-time job. You're an IT girl from home, full-time. Like, I try to call you sometimes during the day and you're like, I gotta go. And the phone starts ringing. And we all know that and respect that about you, because that's your job. That's your full-time job. And on top of that, you are a wonderful wife, and you're such an incredible, empowering, loving, caring mother to two amazing children. So how much more? Oh my goodness, you do it all. And so for that, I just want to say, and we had a lengthy conversation today, was it? Or yesterday? Yeah. And you didn't have to talk to me for 45 minutes. We didn't even talk. In IT. You're just such a great friend, and you really care about people, and that's what I love about you so much. I feel like the moment we really met the first time, we just instantly connected. And so the way that we met, we're in the same network marketing company together, where we started this beta launch together, and you didn't have to enroll with me. You chose me, and I'm just so incredibly honored and humbled that you connected with me, and that we're locking arms together and doing this. And it's just so much fun, and I'm learning so much from you in your style of coaching, and what you bring to people's lives is just, it blows me away. So I have some questions for you tonight, because of all those things that that I just laid out there for all of you guys to hear about who Kebie is and who I get to work with on the daily. Tell me first, because before you became a coach, you started your journey in network marketing. So I'd like to hear how and why did you start your journey in network marketing?
Okay, so I was at home, and thank you. Oh my gosh, I could just cry. I was at home with Maddox. He was 2 weeks old, and we were living check to check, me and my husband. My husband was in law enforcement, and I worked front desk in urgent care. Nothing wrong with those jobs. We lived check to check, and I was holding him wondering, how am I going to put him in daycare? How are we going to afford this? Right? We were already struggling with me being on maternity leave and all the time off that it takes having kids. And I had a friend who tried to talk to me about network marketing for 3 months. And I'm like, nope, I'm not doing the foot soaks and the makeup. It wasn't me to do the parties. I've done them for my friends to help them out, but I didn't want it. Right. So she called me and said, hey, I want to bring a chicken pie and I want to see the baby. And I'm like, come on, a free meal, we'll take it. And she came by, and I'm like, while you're here, I'll look at it. And when I seen it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't have to like peddle product. I don't have to do a garage full of products. Like, it was just the dream that I seen. And I thought, if I do ABC, I make XYZ, I can do it. And I got started. And but I had denied looking at it for a long time. But when the timing was right, I'm glad she stayed persistent and consistent with me to have me see. So that was my journey. It was 9 years ago. In fact, in February, actually, 9 years.
Oh my goodness. So tell us a little bit about the success that you've had in those 9 years. Like, what was it that kind of shifted from the little fishbowl into the big fishbowl?
Okay, so for first and foremost, my upline, they split like bananas. Like, their tactics were not settling with me. The way they got people to look, they tricked people, things like that. It didn't settle. But I didn't want to quit the industry or the company because it wasn't the company's fault that people act that way, right? So the way they were training me didn't settle. So I went and paid and invested $5,000 into training that we didn't have. Me and my husband, we actually took our tax check. I said, I'm doing it. I've got to get trained. And it was $5,000. And back then it would probably be 10. Today it would be 10 grand probably. But I had to travel for 3 months on a Saturday, 2 hours to and 2 hours home. So 4 hours in the car every Saturday after working full time with 2 babies in diapers.
Oh.
But I wanted it that bad. I wanted to make a difference. I wanted to earn for my family, and I knew I just needed skill. So this was a sales training. Actually, a real estate agent was teaching. There were no network marketing trainings. Oh, I don't know. You haven't even heard the story, right, Rachel?
Wow. I feel like I've heard a little bit of it, but this is like, yeah, it's new to me.
So, and of course, I call the upline. I'm like, I'm going here. You want to go? They're like, you don't need training. Like, we still hear that, right? Like, what the heck? Are you serious? Like, if you come to my job, how long would it take me to train you? Right? Like, you got to have training and you got to pay for people's time. But anyway, that's another whole deal. But anyway, so I did it. I said, I'm going to learn. And then with that, I learned how to sell. I learned how to do it without being spammy or salesy or snakeily. Like, I did it the right way. And I developed my own systems from the training I got off this guy. I just started, well, I'm going to create this culture, and we're going to train our people, and we're going to help our people, and we're going to move in serving mode. And what happened is a lot of people in my town were already signed up under other people who abandoned them. So me and my husband had these meetings, and we're like, look, if y'all come and share in room and you pay $5 to help us with the cost, come in and we'll help you. We'll train you. We'll present for you. Well, all those seeds we sowed in those people. 4 years later, when our company collapsed, guess who they called? So don't ever forget the seeds you sow, right? But anyway, these people they all followed us, even though they weren't on our teams, and we were able to. But in that first company, it was pretty incredible. We had checks with commas. I mean, big checks with commas. I've never seen that. Jason made like 40,000 a year. We never seen money like that. And yeah, we earned free trips. I've been places I never dreamed of. concierge service, like rolling the red carpet, like crazy stuff. Like my first trip that I earned, I was like, oh my gosh, they're not going to pay. And I'm hitting my husband. I'm like, this is crazy. We're in a dream state. This ain't going to happen. You better get out a credit card or something. Like, I was so skeptical. But we showed up to Punta Cana, Dominican Republic, and at the reserve. And I'm talking red carpet. We had butlers. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. And it was all paid, every bit of it. So, and then we also went on to earn a BMW. And I'd never thought I could have a BMW, but anything's possible in this industry if you work hard and you get trained. You've got to get trained. You can't earn income in network marketing with a plumber's mindset or a teacher's mindset or someone in IT's mindset. If you're a doctor, it doesn't matter. It's not about intelligence. It's a matters about, this is a different animal. So you've got to learn what it takes to build it. Yeah, that's it. That's my story.
Wow, that was a lot in there. I'm like blown away. I love hearing that. That's crazy. So where we left off was we had talked earlier, and this is something that you said, and please, if it's okay to share it, if not, I understand, but you had said something earlier about how your first network marketing company went out of business, and then your second one, you know, can you tell us some of the dark sides that you saw, and also what you would do to kind of interview other companies that you were looking to possibly get involved with, and what turned you off? And so tell us like the darkness about network marketing that you've seen over the years and what needs to change.
Yeah, so for me, and this is kind of a loaded question, I followed people instead of companies, and don't we all? We follow people. If I have it to do over, I would and I did. I would interview companies and interview people. Just instead of just joining somebody because, oh, they said they're over here and it's the best and blah, 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 and you don't know, right? So my questions when I interviewed, because I've been looking for about 2 years, I haven't been happy, but I'm very loyal. Okay. So I'm riding it out, hoping things change, praying, all that. So when I really decided, okay, I'm done. This is like, this is it. I'm done. When I made that decision, I started interviewing companies and interviewing the top leaders. So you can Google like your top 5 leaders in this company, whatever. And the first thing I would do is test them. I would message them on Facebook and I would say, hey, so-and-so, I could bring over about 1,000 people. Do you have any deals? If they said yeah, I said bye. Because I don't want to be in companies that do deals. I want to be in a company that is equal. If I stand on stages and tell women that this is equal with no glass ceilings, I want to be impeccable with my word. And I've been misled, I've been misguided. And when insertions were done to me, my uplines just pretty much said, this is the way network marketing is, get over it. And when you're done that way, you lose all hope and trust in the industry. And I'll just be honest, only 3 out of 50 companies didn't offer me deals.
Whoa.
It's very shady out here. And it's no wonder. If you hate network marketing, I understand. But I found a company that's solid, that's going to change the industry. And I believe it. And I pulled the curtains back. I've done the tests and it's for real. So if you're sick of that stuff, you got a home with me and Rachel, because I was sick of it. The second question I ask is, how do you feel about training? Do you support paid training? If I want to go get John Maxwell and pay him 10 grand, or I want to go to a real estate agent and pay them 5 grand, why does that matter? And that's fine, but are you devaluing coaching? Because that's in our industry. When network marketers hate being called scammers and pyramid scheme, we hate that, but then we do it to other fields. Mm-hmm. So when you've got people on stages, influencers in network marketing saying, oh, who needs a coach? You don't need a trainer, like that kind of stuff, it sets me in outer orbit. Also, when people devalue jobs. because people got to have jobs, and I didn't even want to go there. Like, it's just sick. It's sick to think your audience, 98% of people have jobs. And when you devalue that, who's going to do business with you? It makes me absolutely sick when I hear it. And it happens. So that's question number 2 is, how do you value coaching and training, paid training, not give it away for free? Okay. The other questions were compliance with medical claims and financial claims. I have seen some good people in this industry sued and everything taken from them. Everything, for making financial claims, showing paychecks, and teaching people to do it. So when they taught me to do it, I said, oh, no, like, no way. But I see people make claims of, oh, this will clean off a wart, or this will clear a fungus. We cannot say that stuff. And then I've seen it even get even worse, you know, like where products are curing diseases. And I'm like, that to me, it just shows me that people put money before people.
Right.
And if you are moving with a serving heart, you're not going to mislead or use a tactic to get someone to join you, ever. And those are really the top 3 things. So I want to know, do you have a solid compliance team? Or do you stand by that? And it doesn't matter who it is. If it's the top earner, 7 figures, they can't do it either. Because what I've seen is they only get the little guy, but the big ones who are making all the money, they're the ones making the claims. So that's what I would see, and it would just absolutely drive me insane. And then number 2 is, you know, devaluing people, period, especially coaches, because coaches can do network marketing, and why wouldn't we? But why would a coach hang around when you're devaluing them? Like, I was sick of it, you know? And then the first question, of course, is the deals. No deals. Like, I don't want to be in a company with deals. I want to know that, you know, I'm building a company, and 9 years from now, nobody goes in above me. Never, ever. I took this spot. This is where I am. My team stays assembled, and I stay assembled, and there's no deals ahead of me. So anyway, it's sad. It's sad.
Just hearing you talk, I'm like, I haven't had some of those things that happened to you happen to me, but I have seen other things. And like, you know, just that whole mindset of, you know, putting people down for, you know, having a job, or just having that like egomaniac mindset of like, I'm better than you, or, you know, like, I won't even work with you unless you're registered to go to convention. Like, I won't even work with you, you know? And I'm like,
people are so ungrateful. Like, there's a billion people on earth, and they chose you to do business with, and you're treating them like crap.
right.
Like, this is a free country. I can sign up with whoever I want and do business with whoever I want. Right? And so can you. So our job is to treat people with kindness and respect and gratitude that they can go anywhere and do business. So
Right.
I get it.
Yeah, no, I feel you. And, you know, granted, this happens in all industries. We're talking about this one because this is what we know and this is what we're in. But there is that stigma that needs to change, and it is changing, and I do see it changing. And, you know, Ray Higdon made a post not too long ago about how if network marketing companies don't change this, they're going to be left in the dust.
Yes.
And
the next question I have, sorry, the next question was, can you do other things?
Yeah.
And I don't care if it's the same product. If I want to sell CBD, I can market for anybody I want to, because we're in an affiliate era. We're in the gig society, meaning like millennials, do not tell them that they can't do something, or they won't work for you. They want to be able to drive for Uber or Lyft, and it doesn't matter. Whenever they drive, they want to be paid. That's it. So think of Amazon. Does Amazon say, well, you can't put that on the shelf? If you want to sell for Amazon, you can put anything you want on your shelf. So we have to evolve and move. And there's so much of this conflict of interest, and it's very deep in policies. Like, it's not even like a pop-up that says, hey, did you know We own you. You can't do nothing else. My job don't even tell me that. My job says, we don't care when you clock out, go do whatever you want to. Like, just don't get locked up in jail or do nothing crazy. But they don't tell me what to do. Why would I want a network marketing company to tell me what I can do? Right. So I love that about Brandon, because he's like, if you want to sell makeup, sell it. If you want to sell essential oils, go sell it. We just want you to get paid for what you bring us.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I loved too. It was like, that was the selling point for me when my friend Joe told me about Lab. That was the number one thing. Like, at that point, I'm like, I don't care what the company is. I don't care what they're selling. I want to hear this mindset, the mindset, and the fact that they were in the trenches for so long and they built a 7-figure business.
And they've been done this way.
And it's happened to them. They had the pain. Yeah. So that was really what attracted that to me. And I remember one of the calls we had Kat on, some of your team members, and they asked Brandon some of these questions. I remember from the very beginning, how do you feel about this? They were interviewing him. And I was like, wow, this is awesome. Like, I'm so thankful that they're speaking up, and they actually, because this is their livelihood. They are doing other things, and they want to know if they feel not only have a home, because a lot of companies will say that to sell you to get in. Yeah. But then once you're in, it's like, oh, wait a minute, that's not what we meant. You're stay focused and whatever, we own you. But that's not the case with Lab. So do you want to touch on a little bit about why Lab, and then we'll get into how you got into coaching? I want to hear about that too, but tell us why you chose. Obviously we know why now, but can you just further go into a little bit more about why this company?
Really, I was praying. I had found 3 companies that I liked from the questionnaire, and one of the companies I actually reinstated my account was Send Out Cards. So I'll give props to that company. One of the most kindest companies on earth. So I'm like, you know what? I'll just do Send Out Cards. I'm not going to be in any more product companies. I'm done. Like, just done. I still have my foot in the door with network marketing. I'm still an affiliate. I'll just send cards and thank people. I was good with that. So I'd already just kind of made my decision to go silently and just do Send Out Cards, because I love that company, and I love Jordan Adler. I love Darla, and the kindness it brings. So I was really just praying. And when I was on my hands and knees praying, then I just stopped. I'm like, you know what, God, you'll give me whatever you want me to do. So at that point, I feel like I just surrendered, and I said, just let it happen. I stopped worrying. I just let it happen. And there was a post that come up. I followed Brandon on Facebook for a while, but understand, I didn't know him. He was in my company, and I heard of him, and I seen him on stages. I think I got a selfie with him, but I did not know him, and I did not know Jessica at all. So I knew they got married. I knew of them in the company, but I did not know them personally. Never had conversation. Okay. But we were friends on Facebook, because like most people in same companies, you friend each other up, whatever. So somehow I saved the graphic too, but he posted, and when he posted it, I feel like it was God, but it was like a prompting to go to his page. Like something said, go to his page right now. I went to his page, and there was this big live that he just did. And it was everything I needed to hear. All those questions he answered. Like, I didn't have to interview you, because he answered them in that video. And I'm like, this is where I need to be. So why Lab? God, that's why. And so I called him up. I messaged him. At this point, I didn't even know he had network marketing. I reached out to Brandon to say, hey, I need to talk. And I didn't know why. And I mean, he didn't even say, he's like, okay, let's hop on a Zoom. We hopped on a Zoom. He said, anything I need to prep for? And I'm like, no, I guess I just need some coaching, some guidance. If you're open to talking to me. And I really, Rachel, wanted to know, why did you leave the company you're in? What are you doing now? What does this video mean? I just really wanted to ask him. But we talked a lot, and he was so supportive to me. Never, ever did he say why he wasn't with that company. Never tried to recruit me in anything. just solid. I mean, he's just solid. And I asked him, I said, so what is it you're doing? And he's like, well, we started a company, he told me, but he waited till I asked. He didn't like hit me. He didn't do that. It was very professional to call. And but then I said, okay, sign me up. I don't know what it is we're selling, but sign me up. I'm in. Because I said, can I do multiple things? I know you value coaches because you've been one and you've been devalued because they did it to him, just like they did me. Okay. So I said, I know you're fine with me coaching, right? He's like, yeah, like everybody needs coaches. And I'm like, and there's no deals. And at that point, all I had was his word, but I knew he had been done that way too. Okay. So then I got to pull the curtain back and I was like, oh my gosh, there are no deals. Like this is real. And by the way, since I've joined Lab, my coaching business has tripled because that's what God will do for you. The setbacks are always for the setups. So everything in my life has tripled. It's a fast moving train. I tell people just hang on. I don't know what to tell you. Just hang on and lock arms. Let's go. Because it's moving so fast. But I feel like I'm prepared for this moment. And so are you. And then what leads up to you is that I just said, well, Brandon said, well, you can't join me. And I'm like, what do you mean? Well, I'm the CEO. You can't sign up with me. You're going to have to pick. And I'm like, really? Because this is the first time that I got to pick who I wanted to be with, right? So I went and watched a couple videos. I really only watched one person, and then I stumbled on you, and I'm like, this is who I need to be with because your story aligned with me. At this point, I didn't even know who you were, if you were like an abusive person and upline. I didn't know, but at this point, I'm just like, God, you've took me this far. Just lead me to who I'm aligned with. Lead me to somebody that will mentor me and help me, and in return will be receptive to me because I have a lot of ideas and I'm hard to hang with. So I needed that from both sides. And every prayer has been answered for me. So you have been just hanging with us, and you do everything I ask. And you even say, I'm tough skin, I'm thick skin. It's okay. Just tell me. We have such a good communication. I have never had an upline as beautiful as you.
Now you're gonna make me cry. Oh my gosh. Wow. Well, Kebie, okay. Wait a minute. So tell me about the coaching part. What made you want to get into coaching? What was it that, because I the kind of person that you are, the kind of coach that you are, and I'll just tell you guys that are watching out here a little bit about, because I've taken one of Kebie's coaching classes. I'm almost at the end of it right now. It's called Story Sell, and she teaches you how to sell on stories, Instagram stories, Facebook stories. If you're brand new to stories, she teaches you nuts and bolts details. I mean, it is hand holding at its best. You cannot fail in this class. It's like, but it's not just elementary. She teaches you all really cool tricks and apps and ways and the psychology behind it. And you meet in a group setting, which I really love. And it's so much fun, and it gets you out and it gets you exposure. So it gets your feet wet into the world of social media, not just stories. So, but you've got a lot of really awesome classes. I mean, you've got Breakthrough, which helps people to break through limiting beliefs. You've got the Art of Social Media Facebook group, which if you're interested, please join her Facebook group. Just comment me below and Kebie will catch you and add you into that group. It's free. It's great social media training. She's got, I mean, oh my goodness, the one of the programs, what is the basic one on just learning business in general? I mean, you learn taxes, you learn everything.
Yeah.
How to set up your business. I mean, that alone is such a valuable program. And then you've got your branding class. And the limiting belief breakthrough class, how to break through limiting beliefs, and just, if you've got things that are holding you back. I mean, Kebie's got so many incredible courses that I highly recommend that you look into, and just ask her, ask her, go to her website. She'll post it below. But I'm just amazed by you. And you didn't stop there. You coach people how to set up their own coaching programs, whatever they want to be. If they want to be a health coach, if they want to be a life coach, whatever it is, you are there to help people how to coach. And I loved your coaching style because you're so adamant and you're so detailed and you're so about serving others, and you will not take anything less but your way of excellence. And that just blows my mind. Like, I don't think I tell you this enough. I really don't. I think it in my head, but I don't tell you enough. That's me as a camouflage, right? I don't speak my mind enough. I don't communicate. But that's how I feel about you, and that's how I feel about your coaching. That's why I say I learned so much from you, because I take what I learned from you and I apply, and I want to apply that in my leadership and the way that in every aspect of my life. So tell us a little bit more about coaching. Like, what inspired you to do this, and how far do you want to take it?
Yeah, so I'm a trainer. That's my comfort zone. I can stand up and train, point, click. I've done that in my career for 20 years. In healthcare, I was a corporate trainer, and I went around and actually trained on EMR. So all those hard things that doctors and nurses had to learn to just enter their medical information, I had a lot of patience. I know how to train. Coaching was not really in my comfort zone, but I had a couple friends who were coaches, and I seen what they were doing and the impacts they had helping people. So I'm like, why not? And really, my clients forced me to coach. They were like, okay, we're done with the training class. What's next? And I'm like, I guess I got to get another class. And I'm like, I don't want to do another class. So what I did was offer like a 3-month coaching one-on-one to really help them take their skill they've learned and apply that skill. So you had a coach by your side holding you accountable to the skill. And then I got my groove, and I said, okay, I'm going to do it. So I actually help network marketers. We do a 3-month run. It's a 3-month coaching, and I teach what they want. I always meet the person where they want to go. But with that is the how to start your business with the new distributor training. So that's what you were talking about with taxes and organization. And there's a lot to owning a business and just working from home. If you've ever tried to work from your phone, that sounds nice, but when you're used to driving to work, it requires a different discipline. So I help in that area. I do the 4 agreements with Daryl Price. That's the limiting the beliefs, the programming. We have a book study, and we're in agreement with that. That's a great class and program. That's more like life coaching if you need that internal life coaching. And then, I coach coaches as well. There are so many coaches that get certifications. They spend thousands of dollars, some of them $10,000, $20,000 for these certifications. And then they're like, what do I do next? Right. So I help them develop their programs, self-study and group. And then we pilot, mock run, practice, and then we're ready for paid clients. So you also get the recruiting, the social media, all that. And it's usually a year. It takes a year. Can you make money? Yeah, I had one lady in 3 months making $5,000 a month, but everybody's different. Everybody's different in their hustle, in their energy, what they have doing, if it's part-time, full-time. So I don't ever compare. I always lean it back on the client. So it's usually 6 to 12 months, and I've got someone making money and their programs are ready. And then I have a grooming and an apprenticeship, meaning that over the next 5 years, we're going to coach coaches, and you get to actually learn that one-on-one. So what I love about what I do is that I teach people how to do it instead of just telling them. So like in stories, we do it with you. We're in the field with you. I've taken so many trainings. They're like, go do this, A, B, and C. And I'm like, I'm more confused coming out of the class. But when you take someone through it and you can teach them field work that you can't train out of a book. And that's what a lot of these coaches who are getting certified, they don't teach you in school what to do next. And they may tell you, hey, go charge this, go set up a website, go do all this, and it's just not working because it's not the how to.
Exactly.
So I highly recommend that if you're a coach and serious, that you hire a coach to help you get there. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And I have to say, there's coaches out there that are really expensive, really expensive. And I just want to say, like, I have personal experience with that. I've spent a lot of money on coaches, and your coaching, it should be really expensive, but it's priced, and I don't want to say be below, but because the quality is just incredibly impeccable. But I will say that it is very reasonable for someone who is getting started, maybe that doesn't have a lot of money, that has to work, that has to support their family.
And that's who I'm looking for.
And that's the kind of
You
person
just nailed it.
Yeah, that's the kind of person you are. That's because you've been there.
Yeah.
You've been there and you understand. And that's the kind of humanitarian that you are. And that's what I love about you the most. So on that, can you just kind of like tell us how, because I want to know, I feel like I'm the kind of person that I can only focus on one thing at a time, but I've learned from you, and I've taught time blocking and how to work around your calendar and time management, all that stuff. And I try to do my best, and I don't like to use the word try because I just hate that word, but it's a challenge for me. I've learned a lot, and I've mastered certain parts of it, but how in the world do you have, how do you master your schedule? How do you juggle your energy? How do you get your energy? How do you, give enough time to your husband? How do you give enough time to your kids? How do you work a full-time job? How do you take care of your house? How do you take care of make meals? And like, what's all you seek? Just spill it out. And then on top of it, you have the energy. I mean, you invited, we have a virtual fly-in tomorrow. You have 5 new people going to that virtual fly-in. And you work a full-time job, and you have coaching clients, and you have coaching courses. And your daughter was sick with the flu last week. Like, how do you do it? How in the world do you do it?
I will say that I have a very good supportive husband, so I'll give him props. Okay.
Whoop, whoop, Jason.
Jason does what he just walked in the door. So I feel sometimes like a single mom. So if you're watching and you don't have a supportive husband or you're a single mom, no excuses. Because I do feel that way during the week. I'm here with the kids. I have to feed them, homework, baths, and do this. All I can tell you is I make every minute count. And the reason I do that is not for money, not for success. It's because God gave me that minute. There are people laying in the bed right now who would give their right foot to stand up and just do something. People sick in the bed who would just give anything for that minute to put into their family or that minute to put into their business, right? And we take so many minutes for granted. And I challenge everybody to write down tomorrow everything you do. When I coach with someone and I hear how they don't have time, I tell them I want a log of everything you do down to the minute. When you wake up 7:55 a.m., I would say, why are you not up at 5? You want to succeed and you're getting up at 8? No, ma'am. Successful people wake up before everybody else, period. Like anybody who's successful, ask them when they get up. It's 5 a.m. Okay. So what could you do from 5 to 7 productively that you're wasting time on, right? And then log what you do. And it's appalling to me how much time is wasted in television. So some people may say, well, Kebie, you work all the time and like you're not there for your kids. Listen, when I spend time with my kids, I'm with them. I take this phone and it's gone. I'm not engaged in television. Like I'm with my kids. So if I spend an hour or 2 hours a day with my kids, most of the time I'm spending more than someone who's with their kids for 4 hours, but they're in the TV. Because I've been around people who spend time with their kids. Well, I got these kids to take care of. Well, you're not even paying them attention. They're on their video games and you're down on TV. So when you do have a business and a job, every minute counts. Every minute. And then you need to hire a coach to teach you how to multitask, because you can do it. And in the era we live in with multiple streams, that sounds really pretty. But you better have somebody that can teach you how to juggle, because you do need to keep the main thing the main thing. So I have my main priorities, but I dabble and dibble in others. But I don't let things get me distracted, and I don't run down rabbit holes. I can see rabbit holes a mile away, and people run down them to avoid the work it takes. I see it all the time, especially on social media.
Right. Something that I heard too, I love everything that you said. It's so true. I mean, it's a lot of you guys that are watching, you probably have heard the analogy of the bucket, you know, and the rocks, and then the gravel, and then the sand, and then the water. That's the only way to get everything to fit. But if you're putting in all kinds of things, you know, haphazardly, it's not going to fit. So, you know, that's super important. And another thing that also, while you were talking, it reminded me of Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins has like 30 companies that he owns, you know, and somebody asked him once, like, how do you do it all? You own 30 companies. And, you know, he's like, well, you know, I obviously I delegate, you know, there's people that manage those companies and they report to me. And so it's the same thing in your household. You could delegate things to your kids. You could delegate things to your, you know, your spouse, and you obviously as a teamwork. And then there's delegation of certain things in your team and coaching, and delegation is very important. And that's learning how to be a leader as well. But the other thing that he mentioned too was how to integrate. And integration is also important. And that's the beautiful thing about having a phone, is if you have to get your hair done, you can be on your phone and work at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, we've all been there and done it. Hopefully we're not texting and driving, but you know, you can integrate certain things as long as you're not integrating, you know, and I'm not judging anyone, but I'm just saying for myself, and I know Kebie too, if you're with your kids, you're with your kids 100%. Right. But there's certain things that you can integrate. You know, there's obviously certain things. If I'm doing my dishes, I can listen to an audio book at the same time. You know, I shower. I'm notorious for having phone calls on speakerphone in the shower, or listening to audiobooks or whatever. You know, there's certain things that you can do to integrate your life too. And that's something you got to figure out. But Kebie, thank you so much for spending this time with me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste the first link and put it here, and vice versa. And then we'll get these videos and we'll mesh them together, and we'll have a link to that people can watch. But my goodness, I am just so honored to be working with you and so blessed. And I can't wait to see how our relationship blossoms and how our team grows this time next year. I'm so excited for us. So any last words you'd like to say?
Well, I can't wait too, because we have systems, trainings, duplication, integration, everything you mentioned. So when you do join Rachel and I, a lot of this training is part of the team stuff. So yes, hire a coach, hire a trainer, but you're getting a lot of great things. If you're watching and you're looking for a network marketing company, if you're Rachel's friend, reach out. If you're my friend, reach out, because we're together and we're going to build it big. So we got to take some people with us.
We definitely do. And that is for sure the kind of training that you get just by being on Kebie's team. Holy cow. Holy cow.
And you're going to be doing some coaching. So you may be joining the coaching team.
Yes. Very excited for that. Very excited. Oh, girl, such a blessing to know you. Yay. Thank you so much for this interview. I love you. And my goodness. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Yeah, I got you, Rachel. Love you.